Hey everyone, it's Brandy and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing my October TBR, so talking about all the books that I either have to read or I would like to read throughout the month. I am going to be doing this the same way that I did my previous TBR, so I have three main sections that I have this broken up into. So I have my books that I have for review. I have books that I need to read for a specific book club that I'm participating in, and then all the other books that I would like to read throughout the month. I do have a few books that I am currently reading that I started in September, but I did not get to them, and I think all of them I didn't really get a good chunk into it. Like I read a little bit, but not really far into it. So I will mention those when I get into my everything else section because none of those are for review, I don't think. So yeah, I'm going to actually start with the books that I have for review. Starting with the new books that I have added to my TBR for review, the first one I have is Cold Spell by Mia London and Susan Sheehy. This is the third book in the Sweet Escapes series. This one I have set up to post my review on the 6th, so that is this upcoming Saturday. So I did start this one already. I'm not that far into it, but it's not that long. It's like under 150, I think it's like 147 pages. So I'm hoping that I can, when I go into work tonight, once I'm done with everything else, I can get this like knocked out and have my review written out. So all I have to worry about later in the week is typing it and posting it and getting that done. So that is the first one. The next book that I have added to my review section for this month is He Loves You Not by Tara Brown. And this one, I believe, is the second book in a different companion series. I don't have a specific date for a post for this one, but this one is supposed to come out on August. No, we are in October. It's supposed to come out October 23rd. So I want to get that read and reviewed, or at least get my review posted to NetGalley by the release date. Then I have Love Sincerely Yours by Sarah Nye and Megan Quinn. These are two pretty well-known authors in the romance community. If you read a lot of like indie published or self-published romance novels, I feel like these are two pretty popular authors. I've never read anything from Megan Quinn before, but I've read a couple things by Sarah Nye. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. My review for this book is set to be posted on the 11th. So that is next week. So this is the next priority book that I have for the month. And then the last book that was added new this month for review is Listen Pitch. When I wrote this TBR out, I wasn't sure if I was approved for that one. So I don't actually have it listed here. I need to add it. But over this past weekend, I received the e-arc to my Kindle. So I'm not exactly sure which date I have for that one yet because they haven't sent out emails regarding that blog tour yet. But I'm pretty sure that this one is due on the third week of the month. I think it's like Wednesday because I usually try to have my reviews in between my video days because I don't like having to worry about it over the weekend just in case something comes up. And I feel like those days, Wednesday or Thursday in between the 2 days I post to my YouTube channel, are usually the best days for me to get that done. So it's probably on that Wednesday, which I think is the 16th or the 17th, something like that. So yeah, I will have that read and reviewed by then. And the rest of the books that I have on my TBR for review are all books that were on my TBR previously, but I just have not gotten to them yet. These are ones that have been on my TBR for a couple months now, so I really would like to knock out, honestly, all of them this month because they've all been out for a couple months now. So I just really want to get these off my TBR and get them reviewed. But the first one is The Accidentals by Serena Bowen. Then I have Boy Toy by Serena Bowen and Tanya Eby. And this is the third book in the Manhans series. And then next I have All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. I'm thinking about just buying a physical copy of this so I can read it because I feel like I'll be more likely to read a physical copy than the e-arc I have, because I don't know, sometimes I'm in that mindset right now where I would prefer reading physical copies over e-copies. I think that's why I haven't really gotten to a lot of these. The next one is The Chase by Elle Kennedy. and this is the spin-off, the first book in the spin-off series of her off-campus series. The last e-arc that I have is Ruled by Ellen Goodlich. I do have two other books that I had on my review section, but I do have physical copies of them, so I will mention them when I get to that section, and I will just let you know that they're for review. Moving on to the next section, I have two books that I want to talk about for the Wicked Spirits book club. I have mentioned this book club, I think, a couple months now. It was started by Lauren from the novel Lush, and yeah, I will link the Goodreads page down in the description so you guys go check it out if you're interested in it. And there are technically two books for this readathon, or for this book club this month. There is currently a poll going on Goodreads right now, but the last time I checked, this book was in the lead by 2 votes, and I'm not sure. I know that I think it's either open. It's open up the rest of this day. I'm not sure if the poll is also open tomorrow as well when this video is going up, but as far as I know right now, this book is in the lead. I was out at Barnes & Noble today, so I decided to just pick this one up because I wanted to read it anyway. So even if it doesn't win, I will read it at some point. And that is Written and Read by Anne Bishop. This is the first book in the other series. This is, I believe, a paranormal urban fantasy series. I don't know what this is about, but I just, like, I read what it was about before. I just don't remember exactly what all the details were, but I've seen amazing things about the series. Hopefully it wins because I want to read it, and I picked up a copy like I said, so we will see if this wins. I didn't realize this book is actually kind of long. I think it's like almost 500 pages if all of this, yeah, all of this is part of the first book. So it's almost 500 pages, which I didn't realize, but hopefully it's like really good, so it doesn't matter how long it is. But this is the first book for the book club, or possibly the first book. As of right now it is, but we'll see, and I will let you guys know in my wrap up, I guess, if this ends up winning or if something else won, and then, you know, this won't be on my TBR for this month if something else won. And then the other book that was picked is actually going to be a read-along for the next couple months, and that is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. This is the first book in the series, so Lauren decided that she wanted to do a read-along, or a buddy read, I guess is the best way to say it, of the first 3 books in this series. So The Bone Season, The Mime Order, and The Song Rising in the next 3 months. So October, November, December. Take a break in January, and I think February is when Priory of the Orange Tree is coming out. So she said we could read that one together that month, and then I guess, you know, until the next book in the series comes out, that's all we have. So this is the next book that I have on my TBR for that group. So like I said, these 2 books are for the Wicked Spirits book club. Finally, I am going to move on into the section of books that I have everything else that I would like to read throughout the month. So I'm going to start off by talking about the books that I am currently reading that I want to finish this month because I didn't get a chance to, you know, in September. So I have Wicked in the Wallflower by Sarah McLean. I was supposed to be buddy reading this with Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany, but I'm not sure if she was actually continuing to read it or if she finished it already. We haven't really talked about it because we were kind of both not having it as a main priority. It was kind of just when we picked it up, but I haven't heard her talk about it, so I don't know how far she is in that reading. So Bethany, if you're watching this, let me know if you finished this already. If you did, then I need to, you know, get on it. I read the first 57 pages. Yeah, so the first 4 chapters, and it was interesting. It just, I was reading other stuff at the time, and other stuff had higher priority over this one, so I never did pick this back up, but I want to obviously finish this in October. The other book that I started in September but I did not finish was Finding Yvonne by Brandy Colbert. I picked this one up for the Contemporary-a-thon that happened a couple weeks back. I read the first 2 chapters, which was about 20 pages, but that's all I read. I ended up picking up Monday's Not Coming, and I really got invested in that one, and that one I had an audiobook from the library for, so I just read that one and I never did finish this. And the last book that I started in September but I did not finish is Nixia Unleashed by Scott Rankin. I feel like a couple of these books I started right before the Contemporary-a-thon, so I ended up putting them on pause, and then I also had books that I needed to read for review, so I just did not have time to get to them. So this one I think I read also like a couple, yeah, I read 2 chapters for this one as well, and that's as far as I got. So I'm thinking about possibly, when I pick this one up again, restarting it. So now we are officially into the section of all the rest of my books. A few of the ones that I have left to talk about are books that I definitely want to get through before the month is over, and then some of the other ones are just kind of on my TBR if I have a chance or free time to get to them. So let's get into those. The first one that I definitely want to get to is Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas. I am way behind on my read of the series. I was supposed to be reading one a month, and this month I was supposed to be reading Tower of Dawn, I believe, because Kingdom of Ash comes out later this month. So I was supposed to be reading that one this month, but obviously I never continued after Throne of Glass, so I want to get to this one. And then once I'm done with that, I also definitely want to get to Heir of Fire. I've just, like I said, I've been slacking with reading this series, and I would like to finish the entire series before the year is over. The next book that I have to talk about is one of the books that I said I had for review, but I have a physical copy for, and that is Grace and Fury by Tracy Banghart. So I mentioned this, I believe, in the September TBR, but I received a copy, an e-arc of this from NetGalley with the Read Now that they sometimes send out in the emails. So I had that before the release date, and then I received a copy of a physical copy or finished copy in both the Fairy Loot and the Outcrate box. So I figured I would just read my finished copy and review that. The next book that I have here that I would like to read is Mirage by Samaya Daoud. I received this one in the September Outcrate box. The next 2 books that I have to talk about are both romances, and one of them will be a reread that I have already read and reviewed. The second one will be a book that I received an e-arc for review, but I got a finished copy before I got a chance to actually read the arc, because the arc came out really late, or I received it really late. So I just picked up a finished physical copy, so I would like to get to both of these this month. Really, I need to get the second one read and reviewed, but the first one is Mr. Romance by Lisa Raven, and like I said, I have already read and reviewed this one. I received an e-arc of this book, I think back in 2016 is when I read and reviewed this one, so you guys could definitely go check out my review for that. The next one is Professor Feelgood by Lisa Raven, and then the rest of the books that I have on my TBR are pretty much all just toss-up books that if I have a chance to get to them, I want to, because I wanted to read them last month, but I just did not have the chance to. So 2 of these are adult contemporary romances. One, I think it's a fantasy. Another is a YA contemporary romance. And then I have a manga too, which most likely I will get to the manga because those are way easier to read. So the YA fantasy that I have is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. I've heard a lot of amazing things about the series. Wanted to read it last month, but didn't have time to, so hoping that I will have some extra time this month for it. For the next 2 books, I have both of these on my TBR for the Contemporary-a-thon, but I just kind of had way too many books on that and didn't have time for them. But I have Butterface by Avery Flynn. I really want to read this one because the next book, I believe this is going to be a companion series, but the next book that is going to be in the series is coming out, I think, towards the end of the month, which is Muffin Top, and is following a plus size main character. So I really want to read that one but I want to read this first before deciding if I want to get that, to see if I like the author's writing and the way she tells the story, because if I don't like it, I don't want to pick up the next book. So I really want to read this one first to see if I want to continue on with that one. And then I also have Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. feel like everyone is pretty much loving this book, so I want to read it and see how it goes. The next book that I have here is P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han, and this is the sequel to All the Boys I Loved Before. I read the first book 2 months ago now. I read it back in August so I could watch the movie, and I wanted to read the sequel last month. Did not get to it, so I really want to make time for that. I'm saying that about everything, but I really want to read this one as well. And the last book that I have on my TBR, which I picked up today from Barnes & Noble, they had a copy out early, so I was like, I need to have it. So I picked it up, and that is Food Wars Volume 26 by Yudo Sakuda. So those are all the books that I have on my TBR for the month. Like I said, it's cut down a little bit, at least from last month. It's not, I think, over 20 books on my TBR. I hope not. Maybe it is. I don't know. I didn't count this time. But it looks way better as far as how I have it listed in my notebook that I keep it in, because last month I had my everything else. It was like a whole page, and it was a lot. And this one, I think it's like less than half a page this time. So I'm hoping that I can get through most, if not all, because honestly I probably won't get through them all because I'm a slow reader and I have some pretty chunky books on this TBR for the month, so we will see. That's all I have for you guys for this TBR. If you've read any of these books, let me know what you think I should prioritize, or if you haven't and you want to read any of these with me, definitely let me know, because I always love to buddy read them, because usually it makes me way more accountable in actually reading stuff. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to see more, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys again in the next one. Bye.